after today, I can tell.
John, I'm currently doing like 15 things at once.
Oh, I'm sorry. But the Tigers are playing Temple on the road. That's why I was asking Dake, is because it feels like a big game. It shouldn't be. Tigers are 6.5-point favorite. Temple is terrible. They're 1-8 in the American. They're 8-14 on the season. But this Tiger basketball team, as we know, had 4 straight losses. They looked like they were going to lose Saturday. They looked 100% like they were going to lose. They were down by, 14 points with like 8 minutes left to go in the ball game? They were down by 6 points with 4 minutes to go. Thank you, David Jones, for hitting a tray and then getting an old-fashioned three-point play. Thank you, Wichita State, for missing your free throws down the stretch. Tigers got a very important win to hopefully propel their season in the right direction. They've been better on the road, actually, it feels like, than they have at the crib. They're on the road. They're up in Philadelphia, and they're playing a terrible Temple team. Hopefully their defense can show up tonight. We're going to talk a lot of Tiger basketball with Isaac Simpson today. We got him on today at 11:30. We'll also talk a little bit about the Grizzlies. Trade deadline is today. NBA trade deadline action is going to be happening. It'll be coming down the pipe. We'll keep you abreast of what is happening. And, his X-Man is gone. Grizzlies got a lot of second-round picks. They love them second-round picks. They've done some pretty good things with some of them second-round picks, though. And the Grizzlies are actually they got a little basketball action themselves tonight. They are playing. Who are the Grizzlies playing tonight?
The Chicago Bulls.
That's right. They're playing the Bulls. I can't even remember. You know how it is. It's a weird situation with this Grizzlies basketball team right now. So we're going to talk a lot of Grizzlies and Tigers basketball. 11:30 with Isaac Simpson. We're going to break down all we got and so much more with the Ole Miss Rebels at noon. We have Hardwood because it just feels so good. I got some crazy stories out there. J.J. Watt got kicked out of his hotel. He also got kicked out of the gym, and he went on a little rant on his ex. And I kind of understand why. J.J. Watt, by the way, has like a very large reach. If you're a hotel, you probably don't want to really tick him off. My man was working out in the gym, and they came in there and told him to get out at 7 p.m. They said the gym closed at 7 p.m. Like, it's a hotel, bro. Like, why can't you go in the gym anytime you want? Doesn't make any sense. We'll talk J.J. Watt. And we're going to talk a lot about some defense today. Again, Kansas City's defense, Steve Spagnuolo, everybody's getting all the love when it comes. We just, all we're doing is gushing over everybody right now. A couple days ago, it was hate, like the player haters ball. Everybody's talking about Brock Purdy looking like Lee Harvey Oswald, looking like a woman, not a real quarterback, talking about how, Chase Young doesn't hustle at all. Did you know he was almost left off the Super Bowl roster?
Really?
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh my gosh. So did you see him when they were playing the Lions? You didn't hear about all the stuff where he didn't even hustle down the line? It was one of them. It was the saddest play from a defensive player that I've never seen. More pitiful, poor effort. My man wasn't even trying. Gives up a touchdown because he has no effort. And this was against the Lions in the NFC Championship game. Everybody killed him on the X. Everybody killed him on NFL Network. Everybody killed him on basically every damn show you could talk about. And again, I kind of understand now why Washington didn't pay this guy. He was the rookie of the year. When he came out of Ohio State, he was a bad mama jamma. He's playing with his former teammate on the other side. He's got Nick Bosa, Chase Young one side. That's what they did at Ohio State. They played together there. Teaming them up, it was supposed to be the greatest thing in the world, but he just doesn't try. And they almost left him off the team. They did have a very big discussion with Chase Young. And I will say, though, this 49ers team and this Kansas City Chiefs team, when I look at them, I am struggling like you would not believe, because on paper, the 49ers defense should be superior. I mean, they have Nick Bosa, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, unbelievable talent. Hell, they have Ward. They got a bunch of dudes. They have a bunch of guys who are going to the All-Pro. Same on both sides of the ball. But I've also watched this 49ers team get run on. Offensive line, when they spread out and they get wide stances, They stretch out that little 4-man front with Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, and Nick Bosa, and then they just run the ball right down people's throat. We watched what Aaron Jones did with the Green Bay Packers right down their damn throat. We watched Detroit in the first half run right down their throat. And we also watched Detroit throw the game away. The 49ers realistically should not even be here. But Dan Campbell never ran the ball on fourth down. 0 for 2 in the fourth quarter on fourth down. Never took the field goals. Didn't, go up again by 17. I mean, San Francisco gets the ball to start the second half. They have to score a touchdown. They only get a field goal. Detroit methodically moves right down the field, 4th and 2. They're at the, inside the 20, just inside the 20. And Dan Campbell does not kick the field goal, goes for it, doesn't get it, gives the momentum. We know what happened. The ball bounces off the face mask. Brandon Ayuk catches it. They score a touchdown. The whole momentum changed. And when I think about how the damn Detroit Lions, how they ran the football, how basically, realistically, Jared Goff was playing some great football in that game. In the second half, I don't know why they never got the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. It was a weird second half. And yes, the 49ers punched their ticket. They are here. But do I trust that defense? I don't think I do. I really don't. And it's kind of, it's like, yes, they are paper warriors. I think Fred Warner and, Dre Greenlaw will light you up. He might be one of the hardest hitters, if not the hardest hitter in football. My dude is a full-grown run-stopping machine. And Fred Warner is probably the best linebacker in coverage, period. He covers tight ends. He covers the crossing routes. He is great. He is fast. He flies around. 2 great linebackers. Nick Bosa is the real deal. But for some reason, they just stay in that 4-3. Yeah, they sometimes go 4-2-5 and bring in an extra defensive back. But they try to keep everything in front of them. And this year, late in the season, since week 16, the 49ers have not been the same defense they were in the beginning of the season. The Ravens beat the brakes off of these boys in their house. In their house. The 49ers had to come back in 2 straight playoff games, yet they're favored by 2. And I am struggling every single day to try to figure this out. And everybody that I listened to Russell Copeland again today with Dave Woloshyn. I listened to him yesterday when he talked with me. I watch every damn show. I'm a lunatic, y'all. Podcast in my ear, watching a little Jake Crane, watching a little NFL Network, listening to a little Mina Kimes up in this joint. And every single day I'm back and forth. Because this is not the best Kansas City team that they've brought to the Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes has not been the best Pat Mahomes. And I can also look at the damn Kansas City Chiefs, and I can also talk all kinds of ish. That defense is got an amazing secondary. Chris Jones is a man. They went to Buffalo and took care of business. They went to Baltimore. But I can also look at both of those games and blame a hell of a lot on basically the Bills abandoning the run in the fourth quarter and also the Ravens not even running the damn football. It keeps coming back to running the football. In a pass-happy league that we live in where the quarterback is coddled, where the wide receivers are flat out nasty, tight ends today, all the advantages to the offense, the defense is handicapped. But I just keep coming back to the one thing is which team is going to be able to enforce their will and be more physical? Is it going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco, that offensive line? Pat Mahomes is 15. He is that dude. But are the 49ers also, though, going to be able to enforce their will? Their offensive line is nasty. George Kittle is the best blocking tight end. Christian McCaffrey, run CMC. Like a full-grown ass man. And they got weapons, but then you have little Brock Purdy, who's been so damn good on paper. He's actually been better than Pat Mahomes this year on paper. But I don't know if you realize 15's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 Super Bowl rings. Has played in 3 of them. It's he's a bad man. And then it's also hard as hell to trust Kyle Shanahan. Like, how can you trust this man when you know that they blew the entire Super Bowl when they had the Atlanta Falcons against Tom Brady's New England Patriots, and they owned them in the first half? And in the second half, Kyle Shanahan gets cute. Instead of running the damn football, continues to throw it. Incompletion. And he opened the door, and then Tom Brady walked right in that joint. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is definitely, his coaching tree for a young buck is ridiculous. He is revered. We talked with Russell Copeland. He said that, man, if he could go play with a coach, he'd want to go play with Kyle Shanahan, because one thing he will do, he will scheme you open. He will not just make, mano a mano, best on best, you go beat your man. He will design it. He will draw it up. He will disguise it. He will use motion. He will come out there with 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, fullbacks. He'll use everything. He'll have your eyes all in the backfield confused while you're running past people wide open. He's great at scheming. And they have an offense just full of all pros. But I don't trust their defense. I don't know if I trust Brock Purdy if he struggles in the first half like he did against the Green Bay Packers, or if he struggles in the first half like he did against the Detroit Lions. If he struggles and they come out and they get down, I don't think they're going to come back on Kansas City. Because that's one thing Andy Reid doesn't do. He doesn't screw things up, and that's one thing 15 never does. He'll come back on you. He's the greatest comeback quarterback of all time, and it started back remember when Deshaun Watson was actually playing at Houston and was a good-ass quarterback, and that team was on the rise? They were down by, 21 points in the first half?
Something like that.
It was at least, it was more than 14. It might have been 21. They were getting destroyed, and what happened? That was the beginning. Pat Mahomes showing you who he was, because he was that dude. They came back and beat the brakes off of, actually, the Texans in that game. It's one of those games that I am just back and forth. I don't trust either one of them because I don't believe. Like, I bet, I took the wrong side twice against Pat Mahomes. I took the Bills at home because this isn't the best Chiefs teams I've seen. I took the damn Ravens because I thought actually Lamar was going to go out there and do his thing. I thought Todd Monken knew to run the damn football. I didn't know that the Ravens defense was going to be so undisciplined that they were going to have 95 yards and penalties. So I've bet against Pat Mahomes twice, and I've gotten my ass burnt. Again, I've said it this week all week long. 10-1-1 against the spread. 9-3 straight up as a dog. My man is the underdog king. He's an underdog again. They were dogs against the Bills. Got it done. They were dogs against the Ravens. Got it done. And they're dogs again against the 49ers, and I can't believe it because the 49ers have not looked all that good. The 7 seed was the Green Bay Packers. They were fighting for their playoff lives for the final 4 weeks of the season. They snuck in the door. And they whipped up on Dacus' Cowboys, man. They just showed that Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are paper tigers and are pathetic when they go into the postseason. I mean, Lord. Sorry, Dacus.
Okay. I mean, I'm in basketball mode now, so
you're not even thinking about it. No. But then when they went out to San Francisco, you thought that San Francisco team that everybody had basically said until the Ravens went to San Francisco and bully whipped them was the best team in football. But damn, man, when I look at that NFC, do I trust it? The Cowboys, number 2 seed, got killed by... they got killed by the Packers. I mean, Jordan Love, it's his first year as a starter. And he just went down to Dallas and whipped up on Dak. Then he goes out to Candlestick, or not Candlestick. What is 49ers joint now called? Levi. Thank you. I knew it was jeans.
Wrangler.
That was Levi Stadium. Went out there and should have had it. in 2 weeks, between the game, who's going to over-prepare, who's going to get too cute, and who's going to go out there and do what they actually know they can do and enforce their will. Oh, man, I could talk about this game, and I'm going to talk about it all the way up until Friday when I get off at 1 o'clock. Don't forget, today at 12 o'clock, though, we have Evie Van Pelt, 11:30. In just a few minutes, in about 5 minutes, we're talking with Isaac Simpson. We're going to talk about them Tigers. They're in Philadelphia playing Temple. Temple's terrible, but so are the damn Tigers. Hopefully they can right this ship. We'll talk with Isaac Simpson on the other side. Do me a favor, don't touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving. Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Hey, Tiger fans, join University of Memphis women's basketball on Saturday, February the 10th for 901 Women Day when the Tigers take on the Tulane Green Wave at 2 o'clock at the El Marone Fieldhouse. Join us in celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day with tickets for only $2. And be sure to stick around for the post-game youth clinic. Be there, be loud, and go Tigers go.
Looking for the most thoughtful, most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite, one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry for the occasion. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $199 or $199,000, Genesis will give you some chocolates, fresh flowers, and dinner out at no charge. It's a one-stop ultimate Valentine's experience. When you buy any piece of beautiful jewelry, we'll give you a bouquet of beautiful flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at Restaurant Iris. So join us at Genesis Diamonds. See our spectacular collection of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and more. Priced from $199 to $199,000. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find that perfect ring that'll warm their heart and, for years to come, be a symbol of your love. And we'll throw in the chocolates, flowers, and dinner as our treat. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar at Perkins Extended. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Come on, let's get nuts.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Bryant Dacus all day long, all day strong. Yesterday, we were out there at Dinstall's, man. I will have to tell you, it was a lot more fun yesterday eating Cashew Crunch between each break than it is sitting here looking at you, Dacus. I mean, you're a beautiful young man, sweet guy. But damn, that Cashew Crunch was so good.
John, I ate so much Cashew Crunch yesterday that I've been telling you for like a week and a half now that I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start working out. I ate so much Cashew Crunch last night that I felt so bad that I willed myself to go to the gym. And then I accidentally ran 2.5 miles while watching old Providence Chris Dunn highlights.
You are a lunatic.
So I don't know if anybody had that on their bingo card today, but that's what I did last night.
Nice. Hopefully,
now I'm eating fruit.
And I saw that, and it actually looks pretty good. I didn't know that Chick-fil-A served fruit.
Well, that's how I have to eat Chick-fil-A, John, or that's how I have to eat fruit, John, because as you know, I'm addicted to Chick-fil-A. So if the fruit is in a bowl that says Chick-fil-A in it, I'll eat it. If it's not, gross.
Is it really from Chick-fil-A, or did you just put it in a Chick-fil-A bowl?
No, it is from Chick-fil-A. Yesterday morning, I had my Bible study, and I got it for yesterday's lunch, and I left it at home, so it's this morning's breakfast.
That's too much. You're funny. It is time to talk a little Tigers, a little Grizz. We have Isaac Simpson. My man is very, very, very connected when it comes to being on his X. You need to follow him. If you have opinions, if you want to chat it up, he'll definitely be there talking it up. It's at Isaac _NBA. That's at Isaac _NBA. He does the Ethos Grizzlies podcast. It's straight fire, and he's also with the TigerSportsReport.com. Isaac, happy Thursday, homie.
Yeah, man. What's going on, John? A busy day with the trade deadline. A lot of moving parts, man. Just trying to keep up with everything.
Man, is this something that like you enjoy, or is this something where your head is just spinning?
No, man. I always enjoy it. I always enjoy the trade deadline. I wish the Grizzlies would get a little bit more involved here, man. They got about 2.5 hours to go. Hopefully, they can find a way to unload one of these wings, man. They got to get rid of one of. They got to get rid of one of these guys, man. If they go to the trade deadline and still have all three of these young wings on the roster, man, I think that is malpractice. Is what I just tweeted out, man. They got to find a way to move on from one of these guys at least.
Well, right now, what do you think? I mean, have you seen any options out there? Are you hearing anything, something that they might do?
There's rumors out there that it's been out for a couple of days that they've been engaged with Detroit on a possible deal that would bring Killian Hayes back to Memphis, which that people get upset when they hear that. But the only reason why they would bring him in is he's on an expiring deal. They're not looking to have Killian Hayes the player. He would be an extra ball handler they could have for the rest of the season with Jacob Gilliard. Two-way running out. You'd only have Scottie Pippen and I guess Derrick Rose, but he's in and out. So he would give you another ball handler for the rest of the season. It's a free look. I mean, he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. So if for some strange reason you saw him and you decide you like him, you would have his bird rights, but you probably just let him walk at the end of the season. So you get that money out of the books and send Zaire, Laravia, one of those guys that has extra money beyond this year on the books, and you get that expiring, and that gets them off your book. So that would be the thinking there. So that's kind of really the only thing that you really heard about them today. But hopefully a deal like that would make a lot of sense for them right now.
Is there any chance in hell that there's somebody who wants Zaire?
I mean, it's crazy because you'd be surprised that a lot of teams, especially if you're real connected and you're close and you're watching these guys, you're thinking, oh, there's no way that a team will want that. But he's still young. I mean, he still has that.
Oh, he's a pup, and he had a great rookie
pedigree of being
year.
a number 10 pick. And there's some teams some crazy team out there might still think there's some potential there. I don't really think that. No, Memphis don't really think that. But there might be some team with him being young, still being a number 10 pick, that they think there's something there. And especially if you situations like Killian Hayes, because they want to get rid of him anyway, so they might be a little bit more motivated. They may be willing to take on Zaire. They're a bad team. They're going to be bad for a while, so they're not really looking to do anything anyway. They might take a flyer on them.
I mean, the one thing, though, I was going to say, and I'm hoping somebody does, it's just like, I think about all the number one overall picks just that come off the top of your head, or like the Kwame Browns out there. And again, Memphis people are probably thinking to themselves, no chance. Like, I mean, it's horrible because, like, I remember his rookie year and thinking to myself, damn, this young buck is going to make it. But, I mean, I can go back and think of, like the Darko Milicics, the Kwame Browns.
Anthony Bennett was one of them.
Yeah, dude. There's been – I mean, Greg Oden, he was an injury. I mean, there's been just so many dead-gum dudes who just, like, the NBA is just a different animal, And I just don't know if he's ever going to grow into an NBA actual pro. Hopefully he can get his head right, because I feel like a lot of it has to do with his confidence.
Yeah, it does, because, I mean, we've seen flashes, especially his rookie year. And it just, for whatever reason, it just fell off a cliff for him last year. I mean, he didn't even look like he could walk and chew gum at the same time, let alone play basketball last year.
I also think, by the way, for him, just to give him a little defense, I do feel like if Ja was around, for some reason, he always played better when Ja was on the court. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, he definitely plays better with Ja, because when Ja's out there, man, all he has to do is just run up and down the court like Gazelle, man, catch those lobs.
Mm-hmm.
He can do that. That's one thing that he can do. There's not a lot outside of that, but that's one thing that he has proven that he can do, and he does that a lot better, especially when you got a point guard out there like Ja. That makes it a lot easier for everybody on the floor.
Damn, man. And I also just thought to myself, I don't know how I didn't mention Hasheem Thabeet.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody who loved to shop but didn't like to play basketball. Oh, man. But anyway, back to a little bit of trade deadline stuff. What do you think about the situation? X-Man is gone. Congratulations for him, though, who's worked his tail off to, be an NBA player. But he's bouncing out the door. What do you think about the deal, and how many second-round picks can we get?
Yeah, man. Shout out to X, man. Just a consummate professional. Just did everything, was always ready. I mean, you talk about a guy who is in and out of the rotation. You saw him playing in the playoffs, and then other times where he's completely out of the rotation, and they kind of told him going into the beginning of last year at that point that he wasn't going to be in the rotation, and he volunteered to go down to the hustle and play in the hustle. And a lot of guys in his position wouldn't do that. And like I said, in and out of the rotation, never complained, was always ready anytime his number was called, man. And he purchased a home here, like a lot of guys got to rent and got to move around. His family really ingratiate themselves to the city and the fabric of the city and his wife and everything. I mean, so he was a Memphian. Like, he was here. And so I'm sure that he's probably not super excited, but I'm glad that he's able to go to a situation like Boston. And I don't discredit the fact that the Grizzlies, kind of because of his loyalty and the type of guy that he is, wanted to put him in a situation that didn't want to send him somewhere that was
he
could
win a chip, man. Like, dude.
Yeah, so he could win a championship this year. So Good on X, man. Shout out to them. But it made a lot of sense because I don't think the chance of them re-signing him, I think they were going to go in a different direction anyway with him being an unrestricted free agent this offseason, man. If you could get something for him, get something for him. I know he was a fan favorite, but, man, there's a business side to this league, man. A lot of people don't get that. And a lot of people, well, why are they moving on from Steven Adams? Why are they moving on from X? Because they just look at it as, I like that player. That's my guy, and I wish he was still here. But you have to kind of look at the business side of it. They were,
like the business side. I mean, Steven Adams literally been injured the last 2 seasons. We only had him under contract for 1 more year. That to me makes tons of sense. And I know everybody's like, well, we need a center, and you're moving on for X. Right now, I mean, like they're right now rooting for the ping pong balls to bounce around.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people say. Like, we don't have a center on the roster. I mean, what's on the roster right now is inconsequential.
Dude,
like, they're
no kidding.
Yeah, they're going to make their big moves during the offseason. They're not really concerned about whatever. They got Trey Jemison out there, which I think they're going to do something with him, whether they move Gigi off the 2-way and onto a regular contract and move Jemison on the 2-way. I think he's going to be here in some capacity for the rest of the season. So you're going to have him here. Tripp is going to be back. I mean, they're not really concerned about, oh, well, we don't have a real center. They're just going to play this thing out because they have to, and whatever happens, happens.
So, out of the dudes that we have, like actually, like our hustle team that we're playing in the NBA right now, who are some of the guys that you actually think, though, are getting their shot and showing you a little bit of something and can stick around?
I definitely think Jemison is a guy. I know Tosan Iwama had a big game rebounding at that first game where he played, but I think for this team, I don't see Iwama really having a future with the Grizzlies because he's too similar to Brandon Clark. I just don't think his skill set, I don't see him being a long-term piece. But I think Jemison is a guy that if he develops the way the skills that he portrays, if he develops those, I think he could be a fit here. And I think that's a guy that they're going to take a longer look at. So like I said, I think he's going to end up probably on a 2-way, and Gigi's probably going to be moved to a regular contract. I mean, he's not super athletic, but he's fundamentally sound. He does set screens well. He rebounds. He's tough. He struggled a little bit early, but you saw that flurry at the end of that game against the Knicks, and that's kind of what he can do and what you envision him as. And I think he could be a bench big for this team going forward. So I think they're going to get a long look at him. He'll probably be on a 2-way rest of this season and into next year, and I think they're going to get a look at him. Scottie Pippen Jr. is also, I think, been a revelation for what he's been able to come in and do. He's had some pretty nice games just all around, and the big question with him coming in was his shooting, and he's been knocking down the 3.
Yeah, he has.
So he's been doing that. So I think he's another guy that you look at, and he could possibly be a cheap backup point guard. And that's what this team is going to need because you got Bane's money kicking in. You got Daw with that big extension. You got Jaron with his money. They're going to need to find cheap options, a bench option cheaper than some of the guys that they have. And that's kind of what you're seeing now, why they're kind of rotating some of these guys out, because they got to find cheaper, younger talent to kind of reset the book in order to be able to afford all these guys. And I think Scottie Pippen Jr., I think, has shown that he's definitely a piece that could possibly do that going forward. And I think they hope Trey Jemison is another guy that they can have on the sheet that can come in and play minutes for him.
G.G. Jackson, I mean, he's not even 20 years old. He's a pup. He can't even get a damn drink when he goes to a bar, which is crazy to me. How good can this young buck be, like realistically? Again, because I feel like he's just scratching the surface.
Yeah, man, absolute steal to get him in the second round, man. A lot of draft analysts think that if he had returned to South Carolina, he could have possibly been in conversation for the number one pick in this 2024 draft. I mean, that's the type of talent you have at that size, 6'9". Like you said, he's still super young. And
dude, he's going to fill out that body still, which is not bad. Yeah. I mean, he's probably like, what about 220 pounds now? I mean,
he definitely
can put in another 15 pounds, 20 pounds of muscle, man.
Yeah, he has the frame to do it. I think he has the frame to be able to put on that type of weight. And you just see some of the things that he does, man, that high release on his jump shot. And like I said, came out in the first two games, scored 20 apiece in both of those games, and you just don't see that a lot. You can see it with him. Like some guys, you can tell pretty early on, and some guys you can tell he has that it factor. I mean, I think he's going to be a big time player in this league. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they was like, "Do you think he could be a bench piece, man?" I think he can be more than that. Like I think he's a guy that could be an all-star one day. I think he has that type of talent at that size, the shooting ability, and what he projects as. He could be a big-time player in this league. And if he puts it together, which he seems to have the work ethic, and that was kind of the question coming out of South Carolina. And I always talk about how bad that situation was. He was 17 years old when he got there. He got there early, then he was kind of the leader of that team, and they didn't have anything else. So you understand a 17-year-old kid, you put him in charge basically of a college basketball team because he was the guy.
In the SEC, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be – you're going to probably have some issues. So I kind of give him a pass for that. But since he's been in Memphis, seems like he's been open and willing to accept the coaching. They talked about that aspect and how great he's been. So he seems to want to be great. And a lot of times that's half the battle because he definitely has the baseline of skills and size to kind of get there. Man, I think they got a steal with him, and I think a couple years down the line, man, they're going to have a real player in G.G. Jackson.
Man, I'm right there with you, man. I really am. Again, I mean, he can't even get a cocktail. Like, I look over at Dacus and think he's a baby because he's a young feller. Dude, he's like, what is he, 4 or 5 years younger than you?
He's 19?
Uh-huh.
So he's 4 years younger.
Yeah, I think he's 19. Yep.
What a baby, man. He's a full-grown-ass man, though. But, man.
That's crazy, man. You think that 19 years old, man, in the NBA, playing minutes, man, that's crazy. That's wild, man.
Yeah, I know, man. And we got him in the second round, I think 45th pick overall. Like, congratulations. That's working out now. Tripp, by the way, he's going to be a huge piece, obviously, going forward. We know that. I will say, though, like, watching this team, your focus kind of comes on to Tripp. Like, you can't help it. You know what I mean? I've kind of been, I feel like, almost a hater towards Tripp somewhat. I do kind of feel like I've been a hater. I have been. I'm going to be honest with myself. I've kind of, busted his chops, talk about how he only blocks shots, that he's really not that great on defense. I've been an a-hole. But right now, everything I'm seeing from him and the fact that he's also a puppet at, 24 years old, I feel like, man, when everybody does get healthy, if they make a few right picks, if the ping-pong balls bounce, with Desmond Bane, Maine, Tripp, and Ja, this team could be extremely nasty.
Yeah, man, it's been fun watching him kind of be the leader of his team, and you saw how different they are when he's not playing these last few games. He's held his team together, and he's been a leader for this team, and he makes a big time impact. The question always has been with him is he seems to play his best basketball when
everybody's
injured. And Bane or Bane are not on the floor. And can he put this together when they're on the floor? That's always been a question because it seems like when those guys are on the floor, he kind of goes back into his shell and kind of defers a little bit more to those guys and concentrates more on defense than he does on his offensive game. He just kind of reverts back to the guy that shoots a lot of threes, and that's not he can knock down those shots, and you want him to take those shots.
See, I'm on the other side. I can't. Every time I see him shoot a 3-pointer, I get ticked off. Like, I don't want him shooting threes.
I mean, he can knock them down. I would like for him to be inside out instead of outside in, and that's what you see when a lot of times when Ja's there, he the 3-point shot is what he goes to more than he goes inside. And we've seen tremendous growth from him on his post game. I mean, especially during this time. I mean, there are times where he looks almost unstoppable.
Dude, he can take advantage down there, man. Like, he really can, and that's what drives me crazy when he's out there shooting those threes, because let's be real. Like, I mean, for his career, is he even a 35% a 3-point shooter? I mean, probably not.
He's probably somewhere, I would say probably somewhere around 34. Yeah, somewhere probably there. So he's not, it's not like he's like a 40%, 39%.
I mean, they're throwing Clay out. They're telling Clay he's washed up and done, and he's still shooting like, 37%? Damn.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see him inside more. But I don't mind him shooting the threes because he can knock that shot down when he's open. But I'm with you. I would like to see him play inside more. But he's definitely developed his game on the inside. And he can do some damage in there, man, because he's a matchup nightmare for a lot of guys in the league. There are only a few guys that can really hang with him when he decides that he wants to be that aggressive Jared. Because sometimes he's not always that, but when he is, man, he looks like a unicorn. They call him a unicorn coming out, and there are times where he really looks like that, man, when he really gets cooking on that offensive end.
Well, we got the trade deadline today. It's going to be happening. We're going to keep you abreast of all the things that are going on. Maybe the Grizzlies do something else. We know X is out the door on his way to Boston, and we got a couple more second-round picks. We've been talking tons of Grizzlies. Is it cool if we take a quick break and you come back and talk a little Tigers?
Yes, sir, man. Big must-win game tonight, as they all are going forward pretty much. But, yes, that's definitely.
Man, we'll be back in 2 shakes. Sports 56. We're talking Tigers on the other side with Isaac Simpson, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is, when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
eBay Motors, here for the ride. Elbow grease and a whole lot of love transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive entirely its own. LED headlights, spoilers, whatever you need, eBay Motors has it all at affordable prices. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride every time. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home the win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
We don't know who you are. If you're looking for dinner, we don't have any. But at Sunrise, we do have a particular set of skills. Skills we have acquired over the last several years. Skills that will make someone like you breakfast or lunch. If you come to Sunrise for breakfast or lunch, that will be the end of it. But if not, we will look for you. We will find you. And if you want bacon, we will grill it for you.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Thursday. It's a thirsty Thursday out here in the Mid-South. I hope you people out there have already tried Goldcrest 51. You know it's straight up fire. You're like, Goldcrest? What's Goldcrest 51? Because maybe you're not old. You're a young buck. But Goldcrest, man, it was like the beer in Memphis. It's Memphis. Memphis made, Memphis brewed, Memphis beer. They sold 3 billion bottles of this from 1904 to 1954. That's right, 3 billion. It's so good. It's a light beer with full flavor, straight fire, people. And guess what? It's back. It has been gone for 60 years. It came back on Monday. It is straight Memphis. Go get you a little Goldcrest 51. Isaac Simpson, what's up, big homie? Yo, Isaac. Are you back? Yo, Dacus. I lost Isaac somehow. And now Dacus is gone as well. Anyway, we're talking a little bit of the Tigers. I lost Isaac, by the way, Mr. Dacus. Can you help me out? Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. We're going to talk a little bit of Tigers because, you know, they have a big game. They're in Philadelphia. They play Temple. It is tonight. They're only, by the way, I mean, I say only. This team being favored by 6.5 over anybody is almost a miracle right now with the way they've been playing. Their defense has been terrible. They've been turnover machines, but they had a 6-minute stretch. And I mean, it was a big 6-minute stretch. They were down by 14 with 8 minutes. Down by 14 with 8 minutes. And I think every single person in the world, because at least I saw it on X, there was a lot of people cussing about the Tigers, you could say. But they came back, they got it done. David Jones hit that 3, then got a three-point play. Wichita State was missing their free throws down the stretch. Javon Quinterly, who was, 0 for 12, hit a big one. Tigers came back and won. Can they turn their season around and get back on the right track? They play a terrible Temple team that's 8-4 and 1-8 in the American. It's at 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN2. Isaac, help me out.
Yes, man, they got to. There's no questions at this point, man. They just win, baby. As the old saying goes, is that they're barely on a bubble right now, and it's crazy to think back. I mean, this team was ranked number 10 like 3 weeks ago, and to think that if the tournament started right now, they might not even be in. It's just insane to think about. In a matter of 3 weeks, how that thing went off the rails. But yeah, that was a season-saving 8 minutes. Penny talked about it after the game, and whatever they found defensively, because they really locked in defensively during that time. We haven't seen them play that type of defense in months that we saw at the end of that game. Because if they play like that, they can beat these teams in American Conference. There's no question, and that's what they're going to have to do. But taking on a terrible Temple team tonight, like you said, 8-14, only won one game in American. This is a team that they should be able to dominate. Temple really struggles scoring. They only shoot 37.8% from the field as a team. I mean, they can't score. They don't rebound. They don't have any. Yeah, that's for a team. They shoot 37.8% from the field as a team on the year. So they cannot score. They don't rebound. This is a team that Memphis is a bad rebounding team, and usually when you look at the averages going to these games, Memphis is usually on the negative side of the rebound. Memphis actually rebounds better than Temple. So this game shouldn't even be close tonight. It's Dick Jourdain's return game. Maybe he can get a little revenge, so to speak, on them. I'm sure he's going to get booed, as Penny said, but this is a game where a business trip where they need to just go out and take care of business. So they got a tough one coming up. Their old nemesis,
Tulane on Sunday.
Tulane on Sunday, which has been a problem for them over the last couple of years, and lost already down in New Orleans. So you definitely want to get that one back. But first thing first, man, they got to take care of business against a bad Tulane team tonight. Temple team tonight. Because if you lose this one, you're squarely out the bubble, and you're in a situation at that point where you got to win the AAC tournament to kind of get in. They can't afford to lose to this Temple team tonight.
No, they can't, and I don't think they will, especially since you just informed me that they shoot 37%.
Yeah, they are terrible, man.
I did not realize they were that bad. I know they were 1-8, and I know they're not that good. But hey, Rice was terrible. Wichita State's terrible, and they had to come back and beat them. I'm hoping we can right the ship. The one thing I do wonder, in the final. Let's just be real, Penny. His substitutions, his insane I know he's looking for something. I get it. I understand what he's trying to do, but he needs to rein that back in, and they need to find a little bit of continuity. And at the end of the game, he played his guys. Do you think that tonight he plays more of his dudes, or is he going to do this insane substitution BS? Because they started the second half out with their dudes and went on a nice run, and then when he started substituting, the Tigers, again, no continuity. Walton hits a three, goes down and gets an assist, and then they yank him, put in a Sharon Font or whatever. I'm like losing my damn mind. And, then put him back in, 2 minutes later, and you're like, what is he doing? Is there any chance that we can get some serious normalcy with this basketball team? And is he going to tighten up the rotation?
I think it just depends on how the game goes. Anytime they're in a really close game or they're struggling, and they can't really pull ahead, that's his MO. That's what he reverts to, of just trying different lineups.
There's no rhyme or reason. Am I crazy? Is there a rhyme or reason to what he's doing? Because I feel like he's just looking over at the bench, and the first person he sees, get in. Come on. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, you can see when he's doing it, you can just see it on his face. He's just searching. I think he runs out of answers when he can't. When guys aren't, because I think the way he looks at it, he's like, man, I can't tell these guys anything else. I'm coaching them. He always talks about how they have the game plan, and the guys have even said it, and that's part of coaching. I got to put it on.
You can't blame it on. He's been saying I don't know. We got to come together and we got to do it because he's telling them everything to do. They just ain't doing it.
And the players have even said it. Javon Quinterly has even said that coach gives us a game plan and we go out there and do something different, and that falls back on Penny. I'm not one of the ones that gets on Penny, doesn't think he's a good coach, but he definitely has flaws, and your team's saying that you're giving them a game plan, they're going out there saying something different. That's not doing something different. That's not good.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to just destroy. I'm not in any way trying to destroy Penny or anything like that.
Not at all.
I'm just saying I completely understand. They were on a 4-game losing streak. You can't get Javon Quinterly to play like he did earlier in the season. This is a guy who was
I don't know what's happening to his job.
He was the best point guard. For a 2-week stretch, I thought he was the best point guard in the country.
He's on a Bob Cousy watch list for the best top 10 point guards in the country, and you
sure
wouldn't recognize that guy.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happened to his offense. I think he's just in his head because he's taking a lot of criticism. I think he's thinking about it because he got good looks, man. He just couldn't knock down anything. He couldn't even make up a layup until he hit that big three at the end. He came through with that big shot at the end, but man, it's like the Space Jam.
Can that turn it around for him? Can that right there? Do you think that can turn that around for him? Do you think tonight we're going to see the old JQ?
I hope so, but you could just see it on his face. You could tell the look on his face. He was not confident in his game at all. You could just tell, and I think anytime you're in that spot, especially when you're at the point guard position, when you get in your head, you start thinking it's gonna be bad for the whole team because you could tell there were times where you could just see his mind working. Should I take a shot here? Should I pass it? I'm trying to make the perfect pass, and they were all kind of doing that, especially early in that first half against Wichita State. They were just thinking too much instead of reacting. They were all trying to decide what should they do? Should I take this myself and go one-on-one, or should I pass it? And anytime you're doing that, you're going to make mistakes. They're just not playing free. And I think once that game got tight, they knew they couldn't lose that game, and they locked in. Hopefully they can bring that same focus, ball that up, and get ready for the rest of the season. But you never know, because I thought kind of when that second half against Wichita State up there in Kansas, that was kind of the turnaround. And they went to the next game, and they kind of went right back to doing the same things they had been doing. So
the second half at Wichita State, like that, I was like, oh my God, the team's back. And that's right after they went on then they went on a 4-game losing streak right after that.
Exactly.
I mean, it was like, what the hell? That was like one of the best halves of basketball they played all year.
Yeah, and that's what this team is capable of. And it's so weird to see that much talent struggling with Rice and letting Wichita State run them out of their own gym. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to their offense. Like, their defense, they've had some defensive struggles all year, but the offense has been a problem as well, and that's something that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know, and a lot of it has to do with Quinley just not making shots. And
also
season,
David Jones turning the ball over way too much. I mean, when you drive and there's 3 guys around you, somebody's open. Pass the damn basketball, please.
I was going to say, with David Jones, the difference is early in the season, he's always turned the ball over some and struggled defensively, but he was so elite on offense that you just kind of ignored it. He made up for it, and now he's been good offensively, but he hasn't been that same guy consistently that he was early in the season. So now a lot of that stuff stands out, and it costs him because he's not making up for it on the other end as much.
I'll say one thing that's also crazy about this basketball team, like Malcolm Dandridge, who might, like we were thinking he wasn't going to be a Tiger, entered the transfer portal. And like, I'm wondering where the hell would we be without Malcolm? And that's crazy for me to say because I was very critical of him early in his career. But man, this year he's been stones.
Yeah, he's definitely turned it around. It is crazy to think that he wasn't even expected to be here. And like as you said, man, if they didn't have him on his team, man, I don't know where they would be because, I mean, he's played his tail off all year. He's been a leader in the locker room and the huddles. You can see him pulling guys to the side, coaching on the floor. I mean, he's just been tremendous. And I don't think any of us saw that coming. I knew he was a better player than he had shown here. He's had so many injuries. Going back to the high school, man, he was having knee injuries, stuff going on then. He's talented, but I don't think I ever saw this coming for this season, man. And because, like you said, he was almost out of here. So I don't know where they would be without him, man. But he's been a revelation for this team, and I'm sure Penny has talked about how he's taken over a leadership role in the team. Because if it wasn't for him, I don't know who there would be in his locker room because it doesn't seem like these other guys are willing to take on that role. Quinley, you would think would be that guy, but even coming out of Alabama, Nate Oates had some comments about him
having to motivate his point guard,
motivate him and stuff like that. And I guess it's coming to fruition. I think that's kind of what we see here. But hopefully, man, they understand the magnitude of the situation because this team is way too talented to end up in NIT like that. It would be ridiculous, man, if that's the case. If I'm Penny, I don't even know if I would accept an NIT bid with this team.
And I completely understand what you're saying, man. But we're going to talk a lot of Tigers. We're going to talk Grizzlies. And everybody out there, if you're a Grizzlies Tiger fan, if you're Memphis, follow Isaac at IsaacW_NBA. Tell the people where they can find you and what you got coming down the pipe.
Yeah, man, definitely eat those Grizzlies, man. Go over there and give us a like and a follow. We'll definitely have a pod dropping tonight after the Grizzlies game. They're taking on the Bulls. They got their nice new city edition, the gray court to kind of mimic asphalt. So I think that's a really cool concept. So go out to FedEx Forum and check that out tonight. We'll have you on the post game, TigerSportsReport.com and Isaac_NBA.
Man, I'll be talking with you next Thursday. Be blessed, my friend.
Will do, man. Talk to you next week.
That is Isaac Simpson. On the other side, we get to talk with a little Evie Van Pelt. It's time to talk about them Rebels on Sports 56 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer, Sunrise Buick GMC truck. Going to start out the new year buying a new used car truck. Remember, the selection's better in the...
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56. That was one of the faster breaks I've ever had in my life. It's a good thing I didn't get up. I'm a little bit slow today, man. You know why? Because I had a little bit of fun yesterday. I found a little Gold Crust 51. got a little deep up in a little gold crest. Then I had myself a little bit of Tito's. So I had a great Wednesday. It was a day that I could take a little day off. It was a day of rest. It was wonderful. Tonight, though, you got to go to the Tigers game, man, in Philadelphia. No, but you got to watch it. You actually get to watch it on the Deuce. A lot of my friends who don't have ESPN Plus are probably not going to be at my crib tonight because you can actually watch this one yourself. Big game. They're a 6.5 point favorite. We're going to see what happens with the Memphis Tigers. Don't forget, though, your Grizzlies are playing a little basketball. Evie, yeah, call Evie. Go ahead. That's my buddy Brian Dacus. He didn't speak into the mic. He was just looking at me wanting to talk a little bit. We also have some NBA action. And again, today is the trade deadline. There's going to be some moving parts. We're going to update you a little bit. The Grizzlies are at FedEx Forum tonight. You can go see Tripp and the G League Hustle team as they play the Chicago Bulls. Man, Zach LaVine, man, he's been banged up all year. Poor guy. Can't ever get on the court. I think the Grizzlies know a little bit of something about that. X-Man, by the way, has bounced. We got a couple second-round picks. NBA trade deadline is today. We'll keep you abreast if anything is breaking. But it is time to talk a little bit about the Ole Miss Rebels. Hotty toddy, gosh almighty. We're talking with Evie Van Pelt. You can follow her at Ole Miss Evie. She's on Twitter at Ole Miss Evie. You can also follow her at The Rebel Walk. Go to therebelwalk.com. It is your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information. And I'm going to welcome in Evie now. Evie, how are you doing, dear?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Just got back in from Lubbock finally, where time stood still. And but I'm back, and I'm here. So,
oh my goodness, I'm wonderful, dear. It's been a crazy little bit of a Thursday for me, but man, it doesn't sound like it was half as wild for you.
Oh man, yeah. Like I said, anybody who's ever been to Lubbock, Texas, no offense to Lubbock, Texas, but it's time kind of stands still. So.
What do you do in Lubbock?
You count prairie dogs and tumbleweeds.
You're gonna laugh.
And I'm not joking.
I don't even know what is a prairie dog. I don't even think I know what a prairie dog is.
Just this little. You know what they kind of look like? They look like the little gopher things in Caddyshack. That's the best way I can describe them. And I pulled out of my son's parking lot the first time he's there for medical school, and I pulled out of the parking lot of his apartment complex, and there's just this barren field across because everything is barren and brown. That's the color palette there in Lubbock. And anyway, just these little animals kept popping their heads up and coming out and popping and going back in the ground, and those are prairie dogs, and they're everywhere.
You never
with
know.
Tumbleweeds.
You never know what you're going to learn here on Sports 56.
No.
Do you? You never know. We learn what prairie dogs and tumbleweeds, and we know not to go to Lubbock. No offense,
That's
Lubbock.
right. No offense, Lubbock. We like it that Chris Beard was your coach one time and took you to the national title game. We know that about you, and but other than that, yeah.
It's got to be nice being in Oxford, I'll tell you that. Now, the one thing that's not been nice in Oxford is South Carolina to Ole Miss fans.
Oh, yeah, men's and women's basketball teams.
I watched, by the way, that whole women's game. Like, I mean, from start to finish, I was all up in it. And I'm telling you, like, they were right there, 1 point. They were down by one. Yeah. There was only a minute left in the first half. And then all of a sudden, South Carolina scores like 9 straight points. And you're like, what the heck just happened? And it felt like that in the fourth quarter. And when you watch Ole Miss, you can see how much not having a point guard really does affect them.
Yes, you can. And it's crazy because, I was all over that game too. And I want to say going into it, it was Ole Miss plus 26.5.
27.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I lost.
Like that. and I was thinking, well, my gosh, that's pretty huge. But so I was feeling pretty good about life there in the first half.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
Not as good in the second half, but but I mean, gosh, hats off to South Carolina big girl, Camila Cardoso. I mean,
Yeah, man, and she was struggling in the first half and got in foul trouble, and then all of a sudden, man, once you. Like, I'll tell you one thing, that girl cannot be stopped once she gets her back to the basket and gets you behind her. And she's right around their 3 feet area, it's over.
Yeah, and Coach Yo talked after the game. I mean, South Carolina has a true rim protector, and most people don't have that. So anyway, yeah, that was quite a game. And then boy, the men gave it a go. That was
that was the worst 4 minutes of offense I've seen in a long time. The last 4 minutes of the game, for people who don't know, South Carolina and Ole Miss scored a combined 4 points.
Yes, yes. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I know people are frustrated about, a lot of Ole Miss folks. And Coach Beard even said after the game that Matt Morrell was fouled on that three-point shot that he took. But at the end of the day, you have a scoring drought at that point of the game, of so long. And, I mean, I think Beard also said, it never comes down to just one play.
No.
He said, but he was fouled on that shot. So, I mean, I will tell you, though, I think to me, ever the optimist, I do think that it bodes well that in a very,
a road game in South Carolina,
yes.
like, let's be real. That was, I mean, listen, and also the other thing, I have to tip my cap. Both of those teams were playing defense. Like, it was a scoring drought and they weren't hitting shots, but every single shot was contested.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, that's the point. There was defense we saw, and I think, Chris Beard kind of changed his lineup a little bit there, took Juju out he's a defensive guy. So, I thought that was interesting. But again, the fact no moral victories here, but the fact that they fought back and,
the first half did not
made
look
a game.
Good. Yeah. The first half was not pretty. The first half was very ugly.
It was, but you sit there and you think, even when Ole Miss was shooting well, they were still down by 10 because South Carolina could not miss a three-pointer. I think they could have just closed their eyes and shot a three-pointer and still made it the way they were hitting things in the beginning. It was just crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely it's been an interesting year for the Rebels. It's been an interesting year for the SEC in basketball. I mean, like what Tennessee's been doing, Auburn last night, the way they just whipped up on Alabama. I mean, like the SEC is absolutely. I mean, it's actually better than I expected it to be. I know the Big 12 gets a lot of love. I don't know if there's like that team in the Big 12 that can actually go get it done, as where I feel there's a few teams in the SEC that could actually do it this year.
Yeah, I absolutely totally agree. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not betting against Auburn. I mean, I'm not South Carolina either. I think what he's done there this year,
Harris,
what he's done is remarkable. So I know Miss gets Kentucky up next. They're off Saturday, but then go on the road to Kentucky. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, and Cal's kids haven't been playing all that great right now. So Wagner being injured was a big one. But my goodness, man, Tennessee, the way they dropped over 100 points on them, I was shocked. And Dalton Connect didn't even go off.
Right. I know. I mean, what is even happening? I think this is. You just look at the standings and how close everybody is, and that's what Coach Yo has talked about with the women is how close the standings are. And we're not going to know probably till the very end. And she said, talking about the SEC tournament, she goes, I just don't want to be I think she said 4 seed. I just don't want to have to play South Carolina. I want to meet South Carolina in the championship. That's what I want. I don't want to have to play them, before then.
No kidding.
So, anyway.
But we've been talking a lot of basketball, and it's been a little bit rough. Again, the Gamecocks got the girls and the boys. That was painful. But what's also been painful is baseball. Before the season even starts, some really, really bad news for Ole Miss in their baseball. You want to kind of let the people know?
Yeah. We had bad news of Xavier Rivas, who was our transfer in from Indianapolis last year, who ended up kind of being a steadying force in there with our 2 freshmen, Quinn and Sonye. And then a lot of people thought perhaps Rivas might have been the Friday starter for his UCL and has to have Tommy John surgery. Did that in an inter-squad game. last week. So, he is out for the season, and that is a definite blow to the Rebels. They're really really going to have to look to JT Quinn and Saunier. JT Quinn had a phenomenal fall. He's a 6'6", 220-pound righty. I think, in the fall he hit about 97. He's got a tight curveball, about 78, 79. Got an 86 mile an hour changeup. I mean, he's right now. I think everybody thinks Quinn is probably going to be the ace. But I tell you what, I'm not discounting fellow sophomore righty Grayson Saunier. Another great big body. He and Saunier. I mean, he and Quinn both started 12 games last year, so they have a lot of trial by fire, that they went through in the SEC. He's got 4 legit pitches also. So I think I think as they go, the team goes. Good news, we are going to have some play. We're going to have Josh Mallett back. We're going to have Riley Maddox. So we have some kids that were injured that are coming back, and then we've got some good transfers. I think Kyler Carmack, a transfer from Arkansas State, pitcher. He's looked really good. He might be battling now for that third position, as might Liam Doyle, a left-hander. So a transfer from Coastal Carolina. So very, very bad news on the pitching front, but good news in that we're getting a few. Yeah, we've got depth and getting some people back. And I just think that experience from Saunier and Quinn that they had last year, it was tough. It is tough to be a baby freshman in the SEC when it comes to baseball. So, but I think that experience is going to serve them well. But I don't know if you saw, but the preseason coaches poll came.
Right?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah, I will say one thing though. When you look at it with the injuries that did happen and the fact that they've come out, and when you look at what Arkansas is bringing in this year and LSU, A&M is going to be ridiculous. Tennessee, of course. I mean, it's so the SEC in baseball is ridiculous.
It really is, and I think that we're going to see, Bianco just, kind of getting into this transfer portal. We'll see. I think Ole Miss had like the number 7 transfer portal class, so we'll see how that works out. But you're right, and everybody has injuries. We've already seen some other pitchers have some issues, so it's just really it's a gauntlet. And I'm excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. But it's man, these coaches are going to earn their money this year, I think.
It's like this year's the one of the last years that we're going to have the divisions. But I'm kind of curious. I mean, have you which division do you think is deeper and more difficult? Because of the Eastern Division, Florida's going to be damn good this year. Tennessee, Vanderbilt's always got strong pitching. That one's deep. And then you got, of course, Arkansas, LSU, A&M, Bama, Ole Miss. Auburn's going to be good this year. I don't know what Mississippi State's going to be, but let's be real. Back in the day, Ron started that thing, and they kind of birthed SEC baseball.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in the East, you got Florida and Tennessee and Vandy. There you go. What do you do about that? In the West, Arkansas, LSU, and A&M up there at the top. Those are the what at least what the coaches think will be the top 3 in each. And it's just really I'm looking forward to it. I think that the way that it shook out in the final voting, I think Arkansas was picked to finish first, then LSU, then Florida.
I will say one thing, though. Arkansas fans, they have been picked to finish first many a times, and they have seen many, many, many early exits, which is got to be frustrating as all get out for Arkansas fans.
And, they're struggling. They've been struggling with football. They're struggling with
the basketball situation is I can't even talk about it.
No, we can't. I think the FCC wouldn't allow us to talk about that situation, so we won't go there. But yeah, so if anything, those poor Razorback fans are maybe due for something.
You almost are kind of rooting for them, you got to have something good happen soon, right?
Right, exactly.
Now, seems like always good things are happening right now with the Ole Miss football team.
Yes. Let's get to them.
Yes. I don't even know where to start. Like, they just keep getting good news. Yesterday was National Signing Day, and it's kind of weird how, like, this is the second signing day. Do you remember how big signing day used to be?
Yes. I mean, not even that long ago. And, it would be an all-day, affair.
You ain't lying, man. We were working on, like, signing day, talking about high school kids for, like, we were getting prepared a week in advance.
Yes, and then, the day, and I was sitting there thinking yesterday because I was driving back from Lubbock. I didn't fly this time, and that is an interminable drive for me. And, I was thinking there's just no possible way I could have done this on this day if this were, years prior, because, I'd have to be on my computer posting stuff. But as it was, I think the only player Ole Miss signed was a wide receiver, Jarnoris Hobson. He originally signed and played a year at Mississippi State and then left last year, played for Northwest Community College. He's a wide receiver. And then he committed and signed yesterday as a JUCO player. Had a great season at Northwest. He's walking into probably, I would argue, really could be the best wide receiver room in the country. So that was the only
right
action.
there with you. That wide receiving, whoa. And man, I'm just so excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am to see Jackson Dart, third year. That wide receiving room, like this, again, 12-team playoff.
And some, it sounds like it's just so interesting to me that, not that fans are always right or always wrong, but fans for a number of years have been saying we need, more depth on the offensive line, more depth on the defensive line.
You got it.
And you got it. And so Jackson Dart, like you say, not only does he have Jordan Watkins coming back and Trey Harris coming back, and he's got these other talented receivers. He's got Caden Prescorn at tight end, going to be back. Hudson Wolf, I think, is healthy. Big 6'7" tight end. He'll be back. But he's got a really talented, big offensive line. I think they got bigger and they got more depth. So I think it's going to be really fun to watch how Jackson does with that.
Yeah.
And how Ulysses Bentley does with that.
And I think a lot of it, though, it stems back to that Georgia game. Lane, you heard him after that game basically talking about how, playing them, you looked and their offensive line was just different,
Yeah. He said in the trenches, we did not look the same. Either side of the ball, we did not look the same. And I will tell you from what we have seen of the kids in on their visits and the transfer portal guys there, they introduced players at the recent basketball game, and they do look different. They do look bigger. They do. So I just think that Lane, he talks about that a lot. He talked about it. I noticed that every time when Ole Miss played A&M, even though Ole Miss, would beat them, Lane talked about those 4 and 5 stars over there on the other side of the ball, and he said they look different. They just physically look different. They look like they're headed to an NFL roster is what they look like. So I know he's been, really looking forward to being able to get his team more headed in that direction. And I think he's done that.
And just, being able to destroy the portal like he's done this year. Again, right now, number one team coming out of the portal. He's added tons of depth on the line. But when I look at something, I don't think we've really even talked about this. I was kind of paying attention. I was over at therebelwalk.com reading a few of your articles, of course. I did not realize how good that linebacker room was. Of course, everybody knows Centarian Perkins, the young buck last year who's like 6'3", can fly, just a full-grown man. You got Chris Paul. But that linebacking, core is going to be flying around next year, isn't it?
It is, and that's another area that, maybe over the last few years, fans have kind of felt like we need to step that middle of the field up a little bit. We've definitely strengthened the back end and the defensive line, but you're right. So we've got those guys. We've got T.J. Dudley, who was a transfer in, and Dudley actually, interestingly, he was not eligible to play. He was a Clemson transfer. He wasn't eligible to play throughout 2023 because of the two-time transfer thing. But after that NCAA ruling, late at the end there, he was able to play in the Peach Bowl. He's a linebacker. He played mostly as an edge rusher, but he played 46 out of 72 snaps in the bowl game. So, he got a lot of action in there and looked really good, and they must trust him a lot if he hadn't played all season and then he got to play, that much in the bowl game. But really interested to see Perkins.
He's going to be a stud. Like, he's an NFL-style linebacker, in my opinion.
He really is. And I think that Golding talked about him at the Peach Bowl. And, again, I've mentioned it before, we don't get to talk to the offensive and defensive coordinators, but twice a year. Once at media day in the fall and then once at a bowl game. And but he commented, on Thundering's flexibility, and he said, because he lined up at edge, he can play linebacker.
Yeah.
Yes, and he said he's just, so athletic and versatile, and we can play him in a lot of spots. And so I think that, and then Raymond Collins, he is a JUCO
He's a big
player.
boy, man.
Yes,
He's huge.
He is. He had... He was junior college second-team All-American this past year, led his team in tackles for loss, and sacks. I mean, he's going to be a stud. And, we get Kari Coleman back. He's coming back. So I think that linebacking room, I think that's going to be, you're right, that's going to be a really strong room. And so while everybody's talking about the front end and the back end, I think that the linebacking core is going to be special. And I tell you what, I mean, I'm eager to see them. I'm eager to see it all. But I'm just so eager to see Walter Nolan and Princely Umanmielen. I mean, I'm just, this defensive line, they're just going to be like monsters. I'm really looking forward to that.
Man, it's going to be a great, great year. Now, hopefully, baseball gets back on track. Chris Beard, the boys are going to do well. Right now, there's nothing you can say bad about Ole Miss basketball. I mean, Ole Miss fans have to be absolutely ecstatic. And the other thing about it is Ole Miss basketball fans are showing up this year.
Yes, hadn't that just been wonderful? I mean, the atmosphere has just been crazy, and it's so hard to imagine. It's funny, there were a few fans that wanted to grumble a little bit after, Auburn, and then, no, we had a chance against South Carolina. But at the end of the day, where this team is compared to, I have post-traumatic stress from last season, I think. So, how far they have come in such a short time is just amazing to me. And what a testament to Beard. And he said right off the bat, he wasn't coming in thinking, it's kind of like Lane, you're not coming in thinking, oh, we're going to take a few years and we're going to build. No, we expect to be good right away. And I think the fans have responded, and the fans have upped their game. I mean, it's been remarkable.
18 wins on the season, only 5 losses, 5-5 in the Southeastern Conference. Chris Beard's got it going on. Baseball's around the corner. The Portal King's still killing it. And if you need anything for Ole Miss information, it's very simple. Just go to therebelwalk.com. Also follow Evie at Ole Miss Evie, and follow the Rebel Walk on the X at the Rebel Walk, or Twitter, whatever we calling it now. Before I let you go, though, Evie, I got to ask you, what you and your husband, y'all leaning one way or the other on the Super Bowl yet?
I haven't. I've been in the time vortex of Lubbock, so I haven't talked to him about
prairie dogs.
Of late. But I tell you, I said before, I'm having a hard time going against Mahomes.
Me
so
too.
I know that's not the. And I'm a big Brock Purdy fan, but I for some reason,
15 is that dude. Like, he's just that dude.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so.
Oh, Evie, thank you so much for your time. I hope you're blessed. You have fun, and good luck this Sunday.
Okay, thank you so much. It was great to talk to you. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy. That is Evie Van Pelt. Give her a big follow. She is at the Rebel Walk. Also got to remind you, if you're hungry, it's like lunchtime. It's 12:30, 12:28 actually. I'm starving, by the way. Did you know that, Dacus?
Me too.
I mean, I am hungry. You've been eating fruit, brah.
I did eat fruit.
But you know what I want right now? I want me a big old burger, brah. And I want a Dyer's burger. I want an old school, old-fashioned, cooked the old-fashioned way, man. They just flatten that bad boy out on marble, throw it in the damn pan, and cook it up. They've been doing it the same way since 1912, and I'm talking about Dyer's. And I know you think Dyer's downtown on Beale Street. No. If you're out in Collierville, man, head on over to the historic Collierville Town Square. They're at 101 North Center Street. It's open from 10:30 to 9 every single day. They have the best burgers, the best dogs. They got great club sandwiches, chicken salads. They got it all at Dyer's. And don't forget, they got some banana pudding that's straight fire. Go to dyerscafe.com, call and place an order online, or just head on over there and have a little good afternoon, man. Go see my buddy Mark over at Dyer's Cafe out in Collierville. We're back in two shakes with a little bit of Hardwood. Sports 56 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Tiger fans, join University of Memphis women's basketball on Saturday, February the 10th for 901 Women Day, when the Tigers take on the Tulane Green Wave at 2 o'clock at the El Marone Fieldhouse. Join us in celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day with tickets for only $2. And be sure to stick around for the post-game youth clinic. Be there, be loud, and go Tigers go.
Did you know some ordinary cold medicines can raise your blood pressure? That's alarming! Fortunately, there's Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. It's specially formulated without alcohol, sugar, or decongestants to provide fast, powerful cold and flu symptom relief for people with high blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, try DayQuil High Blood Pressure, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, colds, and flu for people with high blood pressure medicine. Use as directed and keep out of reach of children.
They say you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Who is they?
The people that say things.
Like what?
Well, that you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's Central Barbecue.
Well, I'm telling you, these people said that you can't even say Central Barbecue is the best barbecue in Memphis.
But it is. There's no better slow-smoked, perfectly cooked barbecue in Memphis or anywhere else.
Look, I'm just saying that they say...
What else did they say?
Well, that the earth is flat.
You have got to get off of social media.
That's what they say as well.
Looking for the most thoughtful, most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite, one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry for the occasion. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $199 or $199,000, Genesis will give you some chocolates, fresh flowers, and dinner out at no charge. It's a one-stop ultimate Valentine's experience. When you buy any piece of beautiful jewelry, we'll give you a bouquet of beautiful flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at Restaurant Iris. So join us at Genesis Diamonds. See our spectacular collection of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and more. Priced from $199 to $199,000. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find that perfect ring that'll warm their heart and, for years to come, be a symbol of your love. And we'll throw in the chocolates, flowers, and dinner as our treat. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds on Poplar at Perkins Extended. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkhammer, Sunrise Buick GMC truck. Going to start out the new year buying a newer used car truck. Remember, the selection's better and the savings are bigger at Sunrise. Acres of new cars and trucks to choose from. A $5 million used car inventory of late model GM certified cars and trucks. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $99.95. Don't forget, Sunrise has a financing plan for everybody and specializes in secondary financing. The #1 volume Buick and GMC dealer in the Mid-South. Sunrise, we're saving you money. It's just the way of doing business, partner. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. And there's more. Save 10% when you buy 6 or more select interior pre-hung and slab doors. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these bones.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It's a Thirsty Thursday, people. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. On Thursday, it used to be Ladies' Night. Do we still have Ladies' Night? 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. I got a lady, man. We're going to take her. I want a deal. We still do that? Do you, like, is it because of the X and the Facebook and all that stuff? Do people go out anymore and actually, like, do ladies now date men without having to get on Tinder and dating apps? Dacus, I mean, do you know this?
I don't know, John. I've been out of the game for a little bit too long to be able to answer that question.
You've been out of the game,
Sorry.
Man. You're always in the game, son.
I'm unfortunate.
Never check out.
That's a good point, but I think I checked out too early, and now it's hard. You know, it's hard to get back in once you checked out. You know, everybody knows that.
That's a good point.
Ask the Tigers.
That is a very oh goodness. By the way, Tigers play basketball tonight. They're in Philadelphia. We're going to pray they win. They're a 6.5-point favorite. I'm not going to tell you to bet on it because. I mean, they only beat Wichita State by 2, and they lost to Rice, and they lost a lot of basketball. So we'll watch it. We'll be excited. It's on the Deuce, right?
Yes.
It's on the Deuce. Hopefully they show up and play good basketball. Now, we're about to do a little hard where it feels so good, but I have to remind you, do you know what the best spirit in the world is? You should by now. It's Tito's. It is also vodka, which goes with everything. And this vodka goes with everything because that is a very unique flavor, slightly sweet with that black pepper note. It balances everything out. I'm telling you, Tito's vodka is the best. It's best with any of your favorite mixers, or it's great just drinking it neat, straight up, however you call it. If you're like, what's drinking it neat? It's just like, a little rocks glass, just a little Tito's, no ice, man, a little drinking it neat, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's delicious however you drink it. You want a little dirty martini? Put a little olive juice in that bad boy, little olives. Man, it's so good. Maybe you got a UTI. You need to fight it off. Put some cranberry in that bad boy. I'm telling you, Tito's. If life ever hands you lemons, don't freak out, don't fret, don't stress. Just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with the best. Tito's handmade vodka. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
All right, yesterday I was kind of struggling a little bit. I was excited. And my brain was running in circles. Like, have you ever seen a hamster and they run in that wheel?
Oh, yeah.
That was my brain yesterday, trying to wrap my head around the situation at the chicken coop out in Vegas. The Super Bowl is being held in Sin City. My favorite place in Vegas is the chicken coop. Addison Gray, telling you, I'm recommending her primo. You know what I'm saying? Primo. Well, the chicken coop offered for the Super Bowl winner an absolute amazing evening. The Super Bowl winner, they said, you come party at the chicken coop, which is on 40 acres of land. It's got the most beautiful women in Sin City. They go, like, it's a great place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself, the Super Bowl winner is going to go to the chicken coop. They're putting this out there. It's going to be free. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, free, man. Free. So, like, if I won the Super Bowl, that's exactly where I would go. But guess what? That's not where they're going. Just came out, man. The Super Bowl, the post-Super Bowl parties for the teams actually have been set. And no, it's not. They're not going to the chicken coop. Yeah, I don't get it either. Trust me, I don't get it. I have a feeling somebody's going to sneak over there. I promise you I would. But San Francisco, they're going to go to basically a great nightclub. I'm not going to say it's not. They say it's one of the hottest nightclubs in Sin City. It's inside of Caesar's Palace. It's the Omnia nightclub. So that's where the Niners are going to be, okay? So you know, like, a lot of women are going to, good-looking women that are, what do we call them, cleat chasers?
I didn't call them that.
No, I call them that.
Well,
you never heard of a cleat chaser?
No,
What? You must have never been an athlete, huh?
No, I was, but we didn't call
You
them.
never got chased?
We did not call them cleat chasers, though.
Okay, well, y'all are weird, man.
Huh.
What did you call them? Clear cleat chasers. Like, I don't know another way to put it.
I guess that's good for radio.
Well, so a lot of cleat chasers are going to be there inside of Caesar's Palace because of the 49ers. But then there's also a brand new hotel that just opened, and that's where the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be. It's Zook Nightclub. Now, you're a cheat chaser. You're a cheat cleat chaser.
I'm a cleat chaser, John.
You're a cleat chaser. Not you. I'm talking to the ladies. 901-360-8255. Do you go to the new place? Do you go to Zook, where the Kansas City Chiefs are going to party? It's in a new hotel. It's in Resort World. Or do you go to Caesar's Palace? No. You don't go to the Sphere, dude.
Someone was climbing the Sphere yesterday.
By the way, the Grateful Dead has got a residency in the Sphere.
They do? Wow.
Well,
now
Dead and Company, not the Grateful Dead. Jerry's Dead, okay? I mean, it's Bob Weir. It's John Mayer.
Dead.
It's Dead and Company. Different. Like Wolf Brothers is great, but doesn't have John Mayer.
U2 has a residency at the.
Oh Lord, I ain't going to say U2. What is tell me something good about U2? Nothing.
I don't know anything about U2 except back in 2016 they put an album that I did not want on my phone, and made one of the songs the first song that would play anytime my phone connected to the Bluetooth.
That's annoying.
And Barry.
Tell me a U2, what song was it? Sing it for me.
Couldn't tell you a word of it, or a song that U2 has. Surprised I even know their name.
If you're a cleat chaser, which hotel are you going to?
Good question.
I mean, are you looking more for the winner so the team's more celebratory? Or are you looking at Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy, who looks like Lee Harvey Oswald? And I will say, don't forget, Pat Mahomes is married. And by the way, did you see what Brittany Mahomes did? You know his wife?
She's going to be on the swimsuit model of whatever it's called, Sports Illustrated.
She's a lot less.
I thought
can
Sports
I just say
Illustrated
she is a lot less annoying in her SI swimsuit.
Interesting.
Have you looked at it?
What happened to Sports? I thought Sports Illustrated was shutting down. How are we still making magazines?
I don't know, man.
But no, I have not seen Brittany Mahomes in her swimsuit model edition.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and let me just tell you, Patrick, you did good, son. You might have a dad bod. Brittany does not have a mom bod. She's doing good. So, how is she in such great shape and Pat has a dad bod?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question.
I mean, she's hanging out with Tay-Tay, and I'm not going to lie to you. She's a billionaire. Brittany's got the better body.
So, John, I think what we need to figure out is who are the most attractive players participating that are not married or are married. I mean, again,
Nick Bosa's not married, and he loves smoking weed. He's California sober.
Okay, well, maybe that's...
He's a great defensive end. And by the way, if you sit there, and by the way, that ain't reckless speculation. Nick Bosa's mentioned smoking weed on multiple occasions.
Right.
Like, he's down with the sticky icky.
I think Brock Purdy's attractive. Like, Brock Purdy's
he looks like a woman or Lee Harvey Oswald. We talked about this yesterday. A reporter literally said to him, hey, you look kind of like Lee Harvey Oswald.
He's
and he also looks like a woman. Well, it's because he looks like a woman.
Good point. I mean, maybe that's what it is.
You know what? I kind of wonder. I'm going to
Travis Kelce, I mean, is America's heartthrob right now.
Man, you ain't getting Travis Kelce. His wife's got $1 billion. His girlfriend's got $1 billion.
Huh. So I think that's what you need to do. You need to go through you need to make a ranking of what you think is the most attractive.
Do you think that Travis Kelce's going to get busted cheating on Taylor?
No.
I mean, he's going to cheat, right?
No.
I mean, the girl's over in Japan. What is he going to do? Have you never walked out of the house and be like, and he just grab the first thing you see and put in a little work?
No.
I mean, it happens. I mean, he's a young dude. He did catch. I mean, you remember? Did you watch Catching Kelsey?
No.
Do you know what that is?
It's a documentary, isn't it?
No, it's a TV show where he went on like The Bachelor, but it was Travis Kelce.
Interesting.
And they put like 12 women, 12 eligible,
I did not know about
to get
this.
down women. It was on like the E! Network or something.
That's why I didn't know about it.
Was it? Yeah, it was on E! So like, yeah, and it was called Catching Kelsey. My man was getting down and getting busy with all of them.
Good for him.
So you don't think that while she's over there doing her little dancing in Japan, you don't think Travis is like realistically like hanging out with anybody else? Do you really believe that?
I do.
Okay. By the way, ladies, nobody cheats. And by the way, just so you know, everybody cheats. And it takes two to tango. Like when dudes, like everybody blames it on the dudes. By the way, why do the dudes always get the blame?
Because usually
there's a woman involved as well.
But most of the time, that woman
I'm going to put it all on the women.
Interesting.
We have no control. We have hormonal issues. They actually think with their head. We think with the little one.
Huh. John, a man climbed the sphere yesterday without anything. He just climbed it, got all the way to the top.
Are you being serious?
No, I'm being 100% serious. You just start climbing.
Did he fall off?
No, he made it all the way to the top, and then there's like a hatch.
Did he get arrested?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So that was fun. I saw videos. People were putting videos around that there was just some guy on the side of the sphere. You could see him climbing up. It was pretty funny.
Did he? But so does he put this on his like little YouTube? Or
Yeah.
Twitter or something?
So this is like what he does. I think he like raises money for different things, and like that's his thing. Is like he like climbs these skyscrapers and different types of things, and like he tries to raise money. I don't know exactly what he's raising money for, but I guess that's a way to do it. I don't know how, if you get donations or what it is, or like views on YouTube, and that's how you're getting your money. But supposedly he's raising money for something.
Bad news, by the way, if you're a booger picker. Do you pick your nose?
No. Sometimes.
Well, don't. They say that picking your nose, because you got some bacteria and some pathogens under your fingernails, is probably one of the main reasons that like you have Alzheimer's.
What?
Yeah, this is a study, dude. I always do these things. PSAs, bro. So don't be picking your nose if you want your brain to work.
That is like the last thing I thought you were going to say. Like I thought you were going to say
neuroinflammation is caused many times by people who are very, very bad about picking their nose. You get viral and bacterial and fungal pathogens. They get in your nose and then they get in your brain, and then you don't even know who your wife is, bro.
So my grandma was a booger picker is what you're telling me.
I mean, I'm trying to help future generations. One, stop picking your nose. Like, blow it into a tissue. Stick a tissue up your nose. Don't stick your finger. Wash your hands. You're dirty.
R.I.P. Grandma.
Rest in peace, lady. R.I.P. to my grams. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
R.I.P. to
all the
people.
grams out
all them
there.
grams
That's
and
right.
grandpas that are gone. Rest in peace. We're going to take a quick time out. We got to come back and talk a little bit about gambling, because we got to build our bank account. I don't think I'm going to bet on the Tigers, but I will tell you who I'm going to bet on tonight. Don't touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's a new year, and Family Leisure has a new way to bring family and fun together. All you have to do is walk into Family Leisure and look around. All those floor model patio sets you see, those have got to go, so Family Leisure can make room for all the new sets coming. Get a wicker sofa set for under $2,000. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating for under $2,000. Hot tubs for $4,000 or just for yourself. If you really want to lounge, they're under $5,000. Need patio cushions? Get them as low as $25. Oh, have you seen those infrared steam saunas? Well, now they and the traditional saunas are 25% off. It may just be the first few weeks of 2024, but that doesn't mean you can't start getting ready for summer. Two final things. Purchase your above-ground pool now and get first in line for installation, and take advantage of special financing that's available. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, bringing the family and the fun back together.
Middle of winter, and how many homes with swimming pools do you think will sell? This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. How about 2 of my listings with pools selling in freezing weather? One sold with snow and ice on the ground. Oh, did I mention that both of these homes that sold had multiple offers? Both of them. If you or someone you know has a house with or without a pool and you're thinking of selling whatever time of the year, remember what I always say. Talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and just make sure that I am one of them. I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in whether you sell or not and what you can make and when. And find out why people often say that when you want the job done, who are you going to call? Shell Dunn. You can reach me at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten at MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546. Do it now.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little... Like the Tigers, you know that against the spread, they have not covered in 5 straight games.
Correct.
Like, they have that do factor. Like, if you've been betting on the Tigers, you're broke. I know. But, like, is this the one where they actually come out and play good basketball? I mean, I'm talking with Isaac. He said they were so bad. I mean, as a team, Temple is only shooting 37%. Now, you'll shoot better against the Tigers because they're going to give you dunk, layup, layup. That's just their defense. But, man, their offense has got to wake up. Is there any chance that 8-minute stretch where they erased a 14-point deficit against Washington State can carry over? Can they score more than 22 points in the first half That would be nice. I mean, damn, like if the Tigers come out and actually play 40 minutes of basketball, they should easily cover this spread. I'm starting to talk myself into this game, damn it. I wasn't really wanting to. But man, the Tigers, I mean, they started the season 15-2. They've gone 1-4. They've had a terrible stretch. In fact, they've dropped all the way down in like the KenPom ratings. Like they're down in the 200s. Not that I put a lot of weight in it, but damn, that's where they're at. And Temple, by the way, they're really bad. You look at their offensive metrics. We talked with Isaac about how bad they are at shooting the basketball. They are terrible at defense too. Terrible. Oh man, I just talked myself into taking the Tigers.
Did you on the road?
-6.5. I mean, this team, you have to believe that the Tigers can show up. You have to believe that Penny's not going to go absolutely crazy and start just subbing in and out and throwing crazy lines. You have to feel like you're going to put a guard in the starting rotation.
I mean, I thought all those things.
You have to think that JQ can't be 1 for 12. I mean, 1 for 13.
I thought all those things before they played Rice. Thought all those things before they played Wichita State.
So now you're trying to help talk me out of it.
I mean, I just don't know. I just would, if I was a person that was going to bet on the Memphis
in the win,
game,
and it is dangerous. You could get it all over your leg.
Right now, I just would not play a Memphis game, honestly. Now, I'm forced to pick it in the afternoon because we do Tiger Bankroll.
Well, where are you going to put your bankroll, buddy? Do you know? Is this something that you might need to talk it out with me right now?
Well, Greg's telling me to take the Tigers.
Greg Peterson?
Yes.
Crazy Greg?
I will probably take the Tigers because I usually just follow Greg.
Man, why is FAU only a 5.5-point favorite over UAB?
Because they're on the road, right?
I mean, yeah, they're playing in Bartow Arena where it got Buck when the Tigers came, but are they going to be able to get Buck like that on a Thursday night?
That's a good question.
I mean, I think down in Birmingham they have ladies' night at a couple bars. Most of the ladies are not going to be there.
I'm sure they do down in Birmingham. Where am I looking for? FAU. What time's that game at?
That's at 8 o'clock on the Deuce. It follows the Tiger game.
Greg has them FAU -6.
So I guess we're going with FAU.
Yes, so.
Greg Peterson's the one who said take the Tigers and take FAU, correct?
Yeah, but what did you say the line was for the FAU game?
5.5.
Yeah, oh no. When it's half a point, I would never play that. But I mean, he does. If he says he bets all the games, side and total, and so if he looked at it and they were 5.5, he would take FAU.
You know, another weird game tonight. Another number I saw that was strange. Arizona's only a 5-point favorite over freaking Utah.
I saw that. Utah. Well, they lost to Utah earlier this season.
I know. Don't you want to go out there and beat the brakes off of them?
You would think so, but Utah beat them on the road. Now they have to travel to Utah. I think they have a chance. I hope so. But we'll have to see.
I will say, man, we're going to just cross our fingers, and I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and go with Greg. I'm going to lay the Tigers -6.5. And the fact that it's on ESPN following, I'm going to have to take FAU against UAB because I don't like UAB.
Huh.
Screw UAB. They beat us.
I guess so.
They just look like a bunch of punks.
Guess that's a good point.
Hope they get beat. Well, we got to get out of here, man. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. See us tomorrow again. Don't forget Lee Sterling at noon. We got the big game to talk about. Get out there, make the world a better place. I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Hi, folks. The Chevy Sheriff with good news for car and truck buyers. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has acres of new Chevys and GM certified in stock and ready for immediate delivery. A $6 million used car inventory with cars and trucks for every budget, and the lot specializes